Okay, now one of the very coolest features about Piano Wizard is we base it on a technology called MIDI, Musical Instrument Digital Interface, MIDI. And there are literally thousands and thousands of MIDI files that can be plugged into the game, and the game will take that music file and turn it into a game interface. So how do you download a song? Well, you can go online and do searches. Classicalarchives.com is a great website. And then you basically drag that file, and they're very tiny files. If you're looking at a Mac, I'm just going to show you, you go to Finder, and you go into the, let's see here. I have to find my music folder. And when I open up my music folder, I have, after you've installed the game, you're going to have a Piano Wizard folder. You open up that Piano Wizard folder, and there's another folder called My Songs. Now you see I have many, 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 many songs in here. I've got the entire works of Bach. I've got the entire works of Debussy. But I've accumulated these over the years, and one great resource is classicalarchives.com that has many public domain MIDI files that are arranged by a whole host of people who've donated them. Very great resource for us. And you can also go to wizardtunes.com and buy pop songs there. We've got thousands of songs up there for you to purchase. There are, of course, many pirated songs on the web, but again, MIDI files were created many years before our program, and so it's a bit of a box of chocolates. But let's say you've got, I'm just going to grab a MIDI file here and say I've downloaded, I'm going to copy this over here. I can see clearly now, right? And I've got that song, and I'm going to put it on my desktop. So I downloaded it off the internet, and now I'm saying, well, I want to put that in my game. I'm going to go into My Songs, and maybe I can see clearly now. Maybe I create a folder called Pop or something, but I'm just going to put it into. I'm going to create one more folder very quickly. Right click and new folder. No, it doesn't allow me to do that. I'm going to go ahead and then drag this, I can see clearly now, into the My Songs folder, okay? Boom. And then I simply open the game, and I look in the My Songs folder, and I can see clearly it's there. And then I can open it up and I can play. It's that simple. So let's say I download off the internet, or I bought it somewhere and I imported it on there. For example, you're going to get a Christian CD, perhaps with 100 hymns. And then you take those hymns and you drag them into a folder under the My Songs folder called Christian Hymns. Bingo. You open that up in the game. On a PC, which this is not, but I just created there will be a shortcut folder to the My Songs folder because it's organized differently. And so I've created, a replica of that. If this were a PC, you would look for the shortcut of My Songs on your desktop, and you would just open that up and then drag the file into that. Okay, that's another way to do it on a PC. But the beauty of this is all you need to do is download these MIDI files, plug them into the right folder in the game, either under the music folder for Piano Wizard and then My Songs for the Mac, or the My Songs shortcut folder that's created when you install the game on the PC that's on your desktop. Then we will go into the game, and I'll just look for that particular song. I'm going to go into Premiere mode. Okay? I can see clearly now, right there. I can open it up, boom, and there's all the different tracks. Now this was created by someone else, right? And I look here, and it's got polysynth over here, but I can change that polysynth sound to a different sound, a different kind of synthesizer or bass sound or whatever I want. But within this now, I can see where that particular track fits on my 4-octave keyboard, where the 4-octave keyboard is overlapping on the 8/8 keys. I can move that left or right. There's a lot of cool features for adjusting, and we're going to go into that in just a moment. But the point is, I now have that song, and I can just check I'm on level 1 here, and I'm going to play I Can See Clearly Now. And I've never played this song before. I'm just showing you. Now this is some arrangement that I bought. And if I want to just preview this, I hit the escape menu, and I'm able to go right here and there, I can scroll forward. This is just a game object, and I can see where, okay, so this is actually more of a chord section. I can see blue or brown, light blue, purple, and get ready to play. And I can slow it way, way down. Let's say this is too complex for me as it is right now. I'm just doing the left arrow key, right? And I literally, the world is my oyster. I can load any song in here, any part of that song. We heard the piano in the background. I can go back to show options here. Actually, I can't do it in the game. I have to choose a different track outside of the game. So I'm gonna just go down. I heard a piano or a vibraphone, and I'm gonna play the vibraphone part now. And here's a better. I'll play the electric bass, that's clearly in a different part of the piano. And I see now that it's overlapping out of my range here, so I'm just going to slide my red brackets down so that I'm playing within my 4 octaves piano, and I've got the bass, and I can learn that. This is amazing, that we can load any song, any part of any song, and turn it into the game. Now remember, I slowed it down for the Obviously I need to practice this, but it's easy. I can slow it way down here. That's the beauty of this game. I just wanted you to see this very important feature that you can download virtually any song and plug it into the game and go with it. Now again, these MIDI files and music itself is a box of chocolates. You may find it's more challenging than you thought. That particular arrangement might not have separated things out, may have it all dumped into one track, maybe too complex, but you can look around and usually separate things out, and you can slow things down, and there's a number of other features to simplify no matter what song you download. Even Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2. I've seen someone download off the internet. We were able to slow it down, focus on the right hand only, and they were able to play alongside. And it brought tears to his eyes because he realized, I'm free. I can learn anything. I can do it slowly, and I can speed it up, etc. So right now, I'm going to go on beyond just the downloading of a song. I'm going to go through this, some of the cool tricks here. Here I'm in the song menu here, and I go up. I'm going to stay in the pop music range. Actually, let me just do one thing. Let me go in and walk through maybe a song. Here's let me go to a Beethoven piece here, and I want to show you a couple cool features, things that you can explore. And all this is in detail in the help files. But here I've got a piece that I've downloaded from Beethoven, his Pathetique Sonata, the second movement, the Cantabile. And I don't know who created this. It was on classicalarchives.com, and you can see that they didn't even, adhere to the conventions. They didn't put names of the tracks. They've just got piano here. And this happens to be the melody track, and it's very easy. And I'm gonna just, stay in this, maybe use turtles here. And I'm gonna just show you through this game. I've got it way slowed down, but there's a couple of cool features that are in the game that matter. You see this white game object coming up here, right? Now I can't really hear the background, right? Even though the background is in there, just because this particular person arranged the background too low. So now what? I hit escape, and I go into, this is the freeze menu. It has to be enabled into the show options. Under options, I have to have that enabled. You can see I can't disable it during freeze menu. But from here, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to see a couple of other things. One of the things I did in this is I can go into the audio track and see this accompaniment is way down here. I can turn up the accompaniment. And maybe the accompaniment is so soft that I need to lower that. Okay, so I have this separate thing, and so in the audio you can adjust, even within the arrangement of a MIDI file, you don't have to stick with that. Now I've got a fingering number on there, and let's see, make this a little louder. Now I can hear the background. And I've got fingering numbers in there, and maybe I want them, maybe I don't. All I have to do is go into Show Options and say go to Visual Screen and disable the fingering. So now I go back and I don't see the fingerings. If I want them, or I want them different, I have to enable them, and then right there in my screen I can click on that and you see the 5 fingers, right? And I can choose, let's see, I don't like the second finger for that. Let me choose the third finger, and it'll change. And it'll change whether it's a note, whether it's a turtle, whether it's a fish. It'll always be in there available to me. And so I can custom put in fingerings, and so can a piano teacher for virtually any song. And that is how you learn songs faster, through fingering, because you're always going with the same finger to the same note. Now there are 10 fingers on your hand, there's 88 keys on a full-size piano, so there are not fingering rules, there are fingering conventions, fingering principles. But everyone's hand is different, and some people get locked into, if I don't know where my fingers go, I don't know how to play. Just hit the right notes at the right time. Bach said that 300 years ago, and certainly we want to uninhibit people, so whatever that works for them is great, and they can codify that in the game if they find a certain sequence. I've got 3 and 3 here, so I might change that back to the 2. But there's another cool feature that I've got in here enabled in this particular piece that I want to show you, and I'm going to have to exit the song to show you because it's in options. It's called note stretching. This particular arrangement, if I don't have the note stretching enabled, it is very condensed. The notes are kind of on top of each other, right? You see that? They're coming up very fast, and there's some faster passages that are like little trills that are almost impossible to see or play in time. Right there, there's a great little trill, brrr, right? So that's too hard, and then because it's that I'm having to play it slowly to learn it. If I play it at this tempo, it's just crawling, right? It's not really interesting, and I've got too many game objects. It's just overwhelming, right? I've got a trill here, I've got a trill here, I've got a trill here. So what do? I'm going to go back to the same thing. If I exit song and enable the note stretching, we're going to go back to that same section. And I'm just going to scroll forward to it. It's right around here. There it is. There's my trill. But I can see 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So basically 3, 2, 1, 2, 4. 3, 2, 1, 2, 4. 3, 2, 1, 2, 4. And I practice that. Now here's the cool thing. I can actually do a phrase loop. I can actually click over here, and I can go a little bit before that phrase that I've now put the fingering in, and I put a starter here, and then I scroll past it, and I do a little ending here, and it'll just repeat that little phrase over and over until I get it right. Okay? Now, and just ignore that because it's going to go away. 3, 2, 1, 2, 4. I missed one. 3, 3. And I can just, with the arrow keys, tap it a little faster or slower. So let me slow it way, way down, right, till I master it. Speed it up. It'll repeat. And every song has these passages that are difficult, and they always block us. But this one allows me to get up to tempo and then release that. And I can go and work on every little trill, every little piece, every little section, and really kind of zoom in on the difficult passages, get the repetition, get that, and teachers can work with that, you can work with that with your kids. It's just one of the cool things that we built in there so that any piece is accessible. That between the tempo, the note stretching, the phrase looping, you can master virtually anything out there if you're patient enough. And in fact, you're going to find that you're making stunning progress on this. And it's a fun, interactive game, and it's giving you the feedback on the fly. So let me look and just kind of walk you through. I'm going to exit this song. You just open this up. You're maybe a little intimidated. Don't be. Here's the help files. It walks you through every single screen, every single shot, every single button, and has an explanation for them. And you just walk through those. Those are built into the game. They're also on the opening screen as a help demo menu. If you need to set up your keyboard initially, you have a keyboard wizard that walks you through the keyboard setup when you first set it up. But if you want to change settings, you've got an on-screen keyboard view. You've got a test to see how big your keyboard is. And I hit the left hand and the right hand. You've got all these things that are, again, if I hit help files now, I've got the keyboard set up, explanations, and it walks me through every little button in the keyboard section. So there's no need to be intimidated by Premiere. You can just walk through. But the basic idea is you load a song, you pick a song, and then you pick, here's Afro Blues, right? And then you pick a track, and which one do you want to try? I'm going to try the Rhodes piano track here. And I may want to arrange that. If I click on that, it gives me a whole selection of possible guitars, possible basses, possible organs, right? And so I can rearrange that in the world so I can see where it fits. This, again, has a help file specially for it. Let me open that up here. Tracks menu, track selection. It walks you through every single, track thing that you would want to learn about. So it's very thorough. I learned visually. I made the help files visual. I think you'll find it very intuitive. The worlds, you've picked the song. You may just jump from the song right into play if you've already had a world and everything picked. You don't have to go through this sequence. But I've picked a song. I picked Afro Blues. And if I double click on it, it takes me right to the tracks menu. I look at that. Okay, that's what I want to play. I check the world. I want to choose a different world. I want to choose a concert hall world here, and I'm going to choose fireworks. And I don't need to look at options, audio, got it figured out, visual, that's what I want. I want level 1. Actually, I don't want the fingerings in there. And go. I don't need to go through all those different settings and options, but I can. Now what I'm doing here, instead of playing the whole chord, I'm just playing the farthest to the right, which is the melody, right? Or I'm going to go back here and say, you know what, that flute sounds cool. That's what, I forget, the Mango Santeria, I think, created this. And so I'll go into tracks, and I'll go down to flute. There's the piccolo right there, all right? So that's the track I want. I'm going to take this track and I'm going to put it in the accompaniment row. And you see how it disappeared down here? And I'm going to pick the flute track, the piccolo, and that's there. And now I'm going to play the flute, all right? And that looks like a lot easier than the chords. And certainly I can just jump into this and probably cruise along. Da 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 da. That's the beauty of the game. It really, the Premiere mode was constructed so that you have maximum flexibility. You can download virtually any song, find any part of that song, slow it down, zoom in on the phrase, stretch out the notes. There's a whole other host of features that you should at least glance at in the challenge mode. If you want kids to work on holding the notes down for the right tempo, you hit the legato, and it has longer game objects. If you want to experiment with tempo, you can start slow and have them move fast. The kids actually like this one a lot. You have a color dropout. If you're in the color-coded music notation mode, it'll gradually drop out the colors to only black and white colors notes. And then you've got a visibility challenge. This is kind of a cool one. So the better you do, the more bubbles and translucent bubbles appear. And so as I do well here, more bubbles come. And what this is forcing me to do is memorize this song and play more by ear. Again, weaning the kids off the game with gameplay. So if they think they've really mastered the song, you can put them in here and they'll see how well they really know that song. But kids can actually, after a certain point, they can just close their eyes and play along because they know the song so well. So these tools are all used and they're in the game and they're for you to explore. But I just wanted to give you a couple of cool tips of some things that might be useful to you.